give you alias Maximus.
General Maximus Decimus Meridius leads the Roman army to victory over Germanic barbarians in 180 AD, screaming "Roma Invicta" as his troops assault, bringing an end to a long-running struggle and earning the esteem of the elderly emperor Marcus Aurelius. Although the dying Aurelius had a son, Commodus, he decides to transfer interim leadership to the morally upright Maximus, with the ultimate intention of restoring power to the Roman Senate. Aurelius tells Maximus and gives him some time to think before notifying Commodus, who murders his father out of jealousy. Commodus declares himself emperor and requests Maximus's loyalty, which Maximus declines owing to Commodus's involvement in the emperor's death. Commodus orders Maximus's execution and assigns Praetorian guards to assassinate his wife and son. Maximus just avoids punishment and rushes home, only to discover his family's burned and crucified remains in the smoldering wreckage of his villa. Maximus, who has just buried his wife and child, collapses on their graves from exhaustion. Slave smugglers find Maximus and transfer him to Zucabar, a harsh region in North Africa, where he is purchased by Proximo, the head of a local gladiator school. Maximus is upset and nihilistic after his family's death and his empire's betrayal, and he initially refuses to fight, but when he defends himself in the arena, the audience applauds his tremendous combat talents. As he trains and fights, Maximus encounters Hagen, a Germanic barbarian, and Juba, a Numidian hunter, the latter becoming a close buddy and confidant to the depressed Maximus, the two continuously discussing the afterlife and Maximus's ultimate reunion with his family. Commodus reopens the gladiatorial games in Rome to commemorate his father's death, and Proximo's gladiators are hired to compete. Maximus leads Proximo's gladiators to a decisive victory against a larger army in a recreation of the Battle of Zama, incorrectly dubbed the Battle of Carthage, at the Colosseum, much to the joy of the crowd. Commodus enters the arena to meet the winners, and is surprised to find Maximus as the captain of Proximo's gladiators. The emperor sulks out of the arena, unable to murder Maximus owing to the crowd's loud adulation. As the games advance, Commodus pits Maximus against Rome's only undefeated gladiator, Tigress of Gaul, in an arena surrounded by chained tigers, whose handlers are instructed to target Maximus. Following a terrible battle, Maximus narrowly defeats Tigress and awaits Commodus's decision to kill or spare Tigress. As Commodus decides to kill, Maximus spares Tigress, intentionally upsetting the emperor and garnering the audience's approval. Commodus's biggest enemy, now known as Maximus the Merciful, is more annoyed by his failure to murder Maximus or prevent his rise to fame, while Commodus's own popularity decreases. Following the battle, Maximus meets his old servant Cicero, who informs him that Maximus's army is still loyal to him. They are camped in the Ostia harbor. Maximus plots with Lucilla, Commodus's sister, and Senator Gracchus to reunite Maximus with his army and depose Commodus. Commodus, suspecting his sister of treachery, threatens her young child and makes her to disclose the plot. Praetorian soldiers storm Proximo's gladiator barracks, battling the gladiators while Maximus flees. Hagen and Proximo are killed during the siege, and Juba and the survivors are imprisoned. Maximus runs to the city walls, where he witnesses Cicero's death and is assaulted by a legion of Praetorians. Commodus, certain that legends formed in the Colosseum must perish there, personally challenges Maximus to a fight in front of a raucous crowd. Commodus recognizes Maximus's better ability and stabs him with a stiletto, puncturing his lung and hiding the wound under the gladiator's armor. In the arena, the two spar before Maximus removes Commodus's sword from him. Commodus begs his guards for a sword, but they betray him and refuse to give him their weapons. Maximus lowers his sword, but Commodus pulls a hidden stiletto and resumes his attack. Maximus then beats Commodus into submission before murdering him with his stiletto. As Commodus collapses in the now deserted Colosseum, a dying Maximus meets his wife and son in the afterlife. He reaches for them, but is pulled back to reality by Praetorian Prefect Quintus, who asks instructions. Maximus releases Proximo's gladiators and reinstates Senator Gracchus, instructing him to return Rome to Senate-based administration. Maximus falls, and Lucilla rushes to his aid. Maximus dies after being convinced that her child is safe, and Commodus has died, and he enters the afterlife to see his family in the distance. Senator Gracchus and Proximo's gladiators take his body from the Colosseum. That night, a newly released Juba bury Maximus's two small statues of his wife and child in the Colosseum, vowing that he too will eventually join them, but not now.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.